Man the
They haven't
torpedoes.
replaced their self-destruct, one of the two.
I'd like to call the regularly scheduled meeting for the Village of Tinley Park Plan Commission to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll move on to the roll call. Lori, can you do a roll call?
Commissioner Bettenhausen,
Present.
Commissioner Gaskell,
Present.
Commissioner Gatto, Commissioner Hamilton,
Here.
Commissioner Manny,
Here.
Commissioner Merrick, Commissioner Sepisi,
Here.
Commissioner Truxell,
Here.
Chairman Gray.
Here, we have a quorum. We'll move on to communications. Staff, are there any communications at this time?
No communications.
Okay. Move on to the approval of the meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 1st, 2023 regularly scheduled Plan Commission meeting?
Make motion.
Do I hear a
I have a
second?
correction on
Oh.
the meeting minutes.
Sure.
On the third page of the packet, for item 1, workshop, I'm listed as present and absent. And I was absent.
Page 3.
Yeah, page 3 of the packet.
Yeah, you are listed as, actually, I see on page 1, you are listed as absent. I do not see you, maybe this is the new revised one? Maybe,
No, the one where it's.
oh, I'm sorry, you're right, yeah, so page 2 for the workshop. Yes, if you can redact or take out Eduardo Manny from present, because he is shown as absent as well. Okay,
And that's all.
Noted, will do.
okay, with that said, we had a motion,
Yes.
and then we have a second motion?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Gaskell, seconded by Commissioner Bettenhausen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. We'll move on to item 1 for tonight's meeting. Item 1 is a public hearing to consider recommending that the village board grant John Oliveri, on behalf of Center Place Office Condominium Association, a map amendment rezoning and a special use for a substantial deviation from the Mercury Business Center PUD at 8041, 8051, and 8061 186th Street in the M1 PD General Manufacturing Mercury Business Center PUD zoning district to rezone the properties to ORI, Office and Restricted Industrial Zoning District, and amend the PUD to allow medical office as a permitted use. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Gaskell, seconded by Commissioner Manny. All those in favor of opening the public hearing say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. I have received certification of the public hearing being published in the local newspaper. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter will be sworn in, but after the staff gives their presentation. At this time, staff, please proceed.
All right, so the petitioner is seeking a special use for a PUD substantial deviation, as well as a map amendment rezoning. The special use is to modify the PUD to allow medical office as a allowed use in the ORI zoning district within the planned unit development. The rezoning is to then allow medical offices at the subject property. The site is comprised of 3 4-unit condo buildings that were built in 2003. They were designed as office condominiums. They look like office condominiums. They're in an area, in an industrial park that all looks like an industrial park. They're kind of out on their own as an office development. It's at the southwest corner of 186th and 80th Avenue. The M1 zoning district, which it is currently zoned, prohibits medical offices, but professional offices are allowed. The property and all of its surroundings are within the same PUD and also zoned M1. The 3 4-unit complex was built as a general office. There's reduced professional office demand. The market for commercial real estate has changed since 2003, and now with work from home and just reduced demand in general, it's harder for office owners to find tenants for their spaces. This has led to increased vacancies and longer duration of vacancies. All this said, there's an increased demand for medical offices. There's a shortage of available space in the village that allows for medical offices. And a lot of our population is aging, and so we do have increased demand for local medical offices. There are also existing medical offices in the area and on site that are out of compliance with the zoning ordinance. So part of the reason that this is an issue is that these are office buildings in a industrial zoning district. So it would be very bizarre, but someone could come in next week and open a chemical plant inside of one of these office condos. That's obviously very unlikely, but it could happen based on zoning. The whole area was designed to be an industrial park. It was kind of master planned in that way as an industrial park. There's a potential with this approval for a shift in projected traffic. Currently, professional offices have few non-employee visits per day. So you have like the morning rush and the evening rush, and then some people leave for lunch. The warehouses in the area have traffic that could be, truck traffic that could be occurring throughout the day. And then medical offices, which would be the change, those kind of have the constant trickle of traffic throughout the day, including members of the public that aren't familiar with the area. And so there's the potential for, getting lost in the back of some of these industrial parks because they're not really designed to be intuitive and follow the street grid and, be easy to locate with signage. And like I said, the signage issue, in industrial areas, there's limited signage allowed, so it makes it harder for the public to find these businesses. This site, however, is located very close to 80th Avenue. There's no real need to drive through the industrial park. There's limited potential for getting lost in the industrial park and fewer conflicts with truck traffic. The map on the screen shows, what everyone's route is going to be for the most part, so it's very easy to access the parking lot. As I mentioned, the ORI zoning limits uses to those suitable for office buildings, and the existing medical offices will be able to continue operating. And I have the standards on the screen.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. At this time, I'll ask if the applicant has anything to present.
I think Michael did a great job. We've talked about it a bunch, so yeah, I'll answer questions, but I really don't have anything to add.
Okay. No worries. I will ask our commissioners if they have any comments for discussion. I'll begin with Commissioner Manny.
The only comment I have just for the petitioner, what's your feeling about, the limited signage for someone to come?
The businesses in there, just so you,
Come on. Okay.
the businesses in there currently are
I
all.
will swear you in, actually. State your name, raise your hand, and then sign the book, too. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please proceed, and
Yes, my name is John Oliveri. Just for reference, I'm in a couple partnerships that own a couple of the condos, and this condo association is self-managed by the businesses in there because it's so small, they just self-manage it. So I got involved when my partnerships bought a couple of the condo units and we leased them out. So I'm sorry, go back to your question.
No, so my just question was, based on the report, that signage would be limited.
Yes. Yeah, all the tenants in there are aware of it, and when people come to lease it, or buy their units, we give them the packets of the bylaws and everything and give them the zoning, so they're aware of it. And all the businesses that are there now are doing well with the signage that they have.
So no concern on your end,
No,
based-
there's a little directory sign out front, and then everybody has signage. There's only 3 buildings, and there's only 3 addresses, 8041, 51, and 61, and they have A, B, C, D. So it's pretty easy to find, so we're not so worried about it.
All right, that's it. No,
Yeah, I'll just add GPS this day works wonder, and sometimes it doesn't, sometimes technology,
yeah.
there's a ghost in the machine, but Commissioner Hamilton, any comments?
My question would be if this, this type of change was to be made by more than just one office in there, would we start to see a parking space limitation then?
If there are tenants that have a lot of parking requirements, that would be. However, when we market it, and now that I was an architect for 35 years, and now I switched over to the real estate side. So we're doing just commercial real estate, property management. So we do tell people in the properties that we're involved with, we do tell people they only get whatever the ratio is in the plan per parking, and if they overdo it, we don't allow it. And all the other existing businesses in there don't even use their required at this point. So there is just, there's parking around 3 sides of the building. There's not a lot of parking, but there's plenty for what the uses are. I would think that if a doctor came in, and for lack of a better example, a dentist, that they see multiple patients really quick, so they have a lot of cars. I think a dentist wouldn't want to be in that building because there might not be enough parking. And the situation really is there's an insurance agent, and there's another medical billing place, and there's a couple other buildings. They all get there 8 o'clock, and they fill the easy spots. So by the time it gets shown when it goes to lease or sale, that parking lot is usually about half full, and all the close spots are all taken. So, yeah, we will deal with that as an association. There's 3 people on the board. I'm one of them. We're pretty active on that. Even when I got a tenant, they asked me how many parking spaces they need. And we don't have a parking problem right now. We just want to make sure we're being a little proactive on it. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is there's a potential for running out of space if a number of the units became medical offices with higher traffic, but you don't see it as a likely problem because your other tenants use less
Yes.
for the parking.
Yes.
And anyway, you'd be monitoring it, each person coming in, each new office, and you'd be able to control it that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Parking like that is also something we review during the change of use process. So a user that's going to generate more parking than is available is usually denied the change of use if there's not a way to accommodate more parking on the site.
Okay, so we have a couple of controls on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, actually, Tinley Park does a lot better job on the change of use than other towns I work in, and they're pretty much on top of it. It's a little bit more work on everybody's part, but it's better for everybody in the long run. Things get done right.
And I just want to highlight this just to, give some backdrop. In the packet you submitted, John, it mentioned the length of time the property has been vacant as zoned compared to the development in the vicinity of the property. And I'm reading the handwriting, 1 suite over 3 years vacant, 2 suites over 2 years, rather. So right now, parking isn't an issue because there's no tenants. So I think, as Michael mentioned, it's a case by case, so we would look at it to see if it could fit. But right now, that's not even on the radar, right? I mean, for the
Yes.
most part, so.
Correct.
Okay. Any other comments, Commissioner Hamilton?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Gaskell?
No, nothing from me.
Commissioner Truxell?
No concerns.
Commissioner Sepisi?
Back to the parking thing. You're gonna be using this for medical purposes and treatment offices and stuff. Is there gonna be an increase in the number of special use or special need parking spaces, like the handicap spaces and that?
Not that I'm aware of. We meet the handicap parking spaces for the ADA right now. No, it's really right now is really there'll be 2 of these uses out of 12 units. That's what it looks like. And quite realistically, we own a couple of the vacant ones, and we don't have, and besides this one use, Growing Clarity, we don't have, the prospective tenants are not medical office with high traffic. So I'm really not concerned.
That's all I got.
Okay. Commissioner Bettenhausen.
Yes, what is the square footage of the units? Are they all equal floors,
Yes, they're 2,000 square feet each.
2,000 each?
Yes.
Basements?
No.
No
ba-
basements, just the main floor.
Just the main floor, no attics or anything either, yeah.
And has the entire condominium association had a meeting and approved this request to do this?
Yes, I went around and got all the signatures of every owner, and
Okay.
Michael has
So you could
that.
submit something like that? Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yeah,
Just making sure.
no problem. He made me do my homework.
He's very good at
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, I don't have much to add. One of my, I guess, hang-up is seeing always vacant spaces of nice buildings, right? So if there's a lot of vacant spaces, especially on new or newish buildings, we need to, I think, revisit each week, as long as the tenants are in agreement, as you mentioned. I think there were some salient points made in Michael's presentation. After COVID, you had a lot of people working at home, so some of these office spaces became obsolete, or at least there's a way to save money. So if we have to relook and repurpose, I have no problem with it. I think it's a good idea, provided, as Commissioner Hamilton said, it doesn't work so much in your favor that now all of a sudden you have a parking issue. But that's something that you got to take case by case, and I'm okay with that. So, and the limited signage, it is off of the roadway, and with GPS, I think that limits the difficulty to a certain extent. With that said, I have no more other comments. Is there anybody else wishing to speak? Okay. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Oliveri.
Thank you.
Well, then, if there's no one else wishing to speak, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Sepisi, second by Commissioner Gaskell. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. Michael, if you can present the standards at this time?
Okay, the proposed use already exists, so it will not be detrimental or dangerous. The proposed use will not negatively affect property values. The area is already developed, the site is already developed. Traffic impacts will be minimal overall. And all code requirements will be met. For the map amendment, we don't have specific standards in the zoning ordinance. We rely on legal precedent to determine criteria. So the first criteria is to consider the uses and zoning of nearby properties. The existing surrounding uses of properties in the vicinity are all generally warehouse and professional office type uses. All properties in the vicinity to the subject site are zoned M1 PD, which is compatible with the proposed ORI zoning district. We have to consider the extent to which property values will be diminished by the particular zoning. The proposed value of the subject site is diminished due to the nature of the development pattern of the subject site in the M1 PD zoning district. The office condominium development pattern is compatible with all office uses, including medical offices. The site's zoning limits the pool of potential tenants or owners of each condominium. We have to consider the extent to which the destruction of property values of the complaining party benefits the health, safety, or general welfare of the public. Maintaining the M1 PD zoning district generally has no impact on the health, safety, or welfare of the public. The site is easily accessed from 186th Street near 80th Avenue. Motorists can access the site without navigating through an industrial park. We have to consider the relative gain to the public as compared to the hardship imposed on the individual property owner. By allowing properties to be rezoned to the ORI PD zoning district, the public gains access to conveniently located medical offices, which are important to enhancing and maintaining quality of life for residents and visitors. We have to consider the suitability of the property for the zoned purpose. The development pattern of the existing buildings is more compatible with the ORI PD zoning district than the M1 PD zoning district. The latter district permits higher intensity industrial uses that are more incompatible with the site's development pattern and existing uses. We have to consider the length of time the property has been vacant as zoned compared to the development of the vicinity of the property. The property is not entirely vacant, and 3 buildings on the subject site the property is not vacant, meaning there are buildings. The 3 buildings that are on the subject site were constructed in 2003 as professional office condominiums. Units within the 3 4-unit buildings may experience typical or extended vacancy as tenants and owners cycle in and out, and the site's current zoning limits the pool of tenants that may occupy the units. We have to consider the public's need for the proposed use. Providing conveniently located medical offices is important for the quality of life of residents and visitors to the village. And we have to consider the thoroughness to which the municipality has planned and zoned its land use. The future land use map included in the Comprehensive Plan 2020 plan envisions and encourages the development of light industrial uses in the vicinity of the subject site. The zoning ordinance as amended considers industrial and office uses compatible as these use categories are allowed within the M1 and ORI zoning districts. The development pattern in the vicinity as enabled and encouraged by the M1 zoning district is that of an industrial park as envisioned by the Comprehensive Plan 2000. The ORI zoning district is also compatible with this future land use category.
Okay, thank you. Now, at this time, I have a motion, number 1, regarding the special use permit.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to recommend that the village board grant the petitioner, John Oliveri, on behalf of Center Place Office Condominium Association, a special use permit for a substantial deviation to the Mercury Business Center PUD to allow medical offices within the ORI zoning districts in the PUD and adopt the findings of fact as listed in the June 15, 2023 staff report.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Truxell, seconded by Commissioner Gaskell. Could you take a roll call, please?
Commissioner Bettenhausen.
Aye.
Commissioner Gaskell.
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Yes.
Commissioner Manny.
Yes.
Commissioner Sepisi.
Yes.
Commissioner Truxell.
Yes.
Chairman Gray.
Yes. Okay, motion 1 is carried. Now may have a motion 2 regarding the map amendment.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to recommend that the village board grant the petitioner, John Oliveri, on behalf of the Center Place Office Condominium Association, a map amendment rezoning from the M1 PD zoning district to the ORI PD zoning district for the properties located at 8041 through 8061, 186th Street, and adopt the findings of fact as listed in the June 15th, 2023 staff report.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Gaskell, seconded by Commissioner Manny. Lori, could I have a roll call?
Commissioner Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskell.
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Yes.
Commissioner Manny.
Yes.
Commissioner Sepisi.
Yes.
Commissioner Truxell.
Yes.
Chairman Gray.
Yes. Okay, the motion number 2 is carried. So this item will go to the village board on June 20th, 2023. So, John, please get with staff to see how you can attend, and good luck, and thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. We'll move on to item number 2, which is a public hearing to consider recommending that the village board grant Leonard McHenry on behalf of Gas and Wash a special use for an automobile service station and an automobile car wash and variations, urban design overlay, parking minimum, parking locations, wall, ground signs, to permit a gas station with a convenience store, car wash, and 2 drive-through restaurant uses at the property located at 18301 LaGrange Road, southeast corner of LaGrange Road and 183rd Street, in the B3 General Business and Commercial Zoning District. Site plan and final plat approval are also being considered at the meeting. At this time, my understanding from staff is that the petitioner requested to continue this item until the July 6th meeting. So can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to July 6th, 2023? Okay, motion made by Commissioner Gaskell. Do I have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Commissioner Sepisi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. The continuation of item 2 will be to the July 6th, 2023 Plan Commission meeting as granted. So that concludes item 2. So we'll move on to good of the order. Staff, do you have anything to present for the good of the order?
Not much. I just wanted to let everyone know that we anticipate to be having a new planning manager to be appointed at the next village board meeting. So that would be a great addition to our team. We're looking forward to it. And he will then be joining us, hopefully forthcoming early July and hopefully with our meetings.
Okay, excellent, that's good to hear. Anything else? If not, I'll move on to,
Gas and Wash, they gave us a revised site plan document on the 9th that they gave us for like initial comment. We are generally okay with the new site plan. It ameliorates some of our concerns with the traffic and stacking that would happen on White Eagle Drive. We're still having the formal review happen, and they've yet to submit the formal review documents, like a new traffic study. They've yet to have a meeting with Cook County, as far as we're aware, so that's another major step that they need to complete before we give them an approval. So that's kind of the status. We're hoping they make the next one, but if not, we'll continue again.
okay, fair enough. Well, I appreciate the update. We'll move on to receive comments from the public. Seeing none, we'll move to the last item, adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion to close the Plan Commission meeting?
So moved.
Commissioner Truxell, do I hear a second?
Seconds.
Second, Commissioner Manny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned at 7:28 PM. Have a good night, everybody.